guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I'm Alex Whiteley, and today's going to be a tricky one because I'm joined by two Shanes. Of course, my fellow biscuiteer, my biscuit bro, Shane Hinton. What's up, buddy?
You all right?
Well, that's enthusiastic. How it goes. Thank you for having me on the show, Alex. Excited to be here. And we are joined by Mr. Comic Salopia himself, Shane Chebsey. How's it going, Shane?
Yo. Yeah, I'm good.
Right,
Thanks, buddy.
So here's how we're going to do this. So we got Hinton and we got Shane. That's
Just use their last names.
Yeah. Is it weird hearing that music, by the way, at the beginning of this podcast? Because if you guys don't know, the listeners don't know, that our intro is a Cosmic Rays song that Shane let us use and Charlie let us use. So is that weird still hearing that?
It just seems like it's part of my world now. Whenever I listen to the Biscuit, I hear that song and it's like, oh, it's a nice feeling.
It's a good job I chose a song that you liked. I know I'm sure there's a musician out there that's like, oh, I can't believe we recorded that. You know what I mean? Like,
you always have your favourites, don't you? The ones that you might become a little bit indifferent to over time.
I can just imagine Cosmic Rays set up for a gig and people just crowd to the front of the stage. They hear that bit from the beginning of the Biscuit, like, yeah, and then they go back to the bar. I
mean, they just want to come and hear the Biscuit intro. It's like, they don't know that's actually. It's like when they use a song in an advert, innit? They don't know the name of the song. It's like, oh yeah, it's the Cadbury song. It's like that must be horrible for the artist, you know, when they've written a song.
Oh yeah, with Phil Collins with the drums.
Yeah. It's the ape with the drum song. Phil Collins
no, it's not.
Yeah!
No, it's
not. Yeah, that's cool.
Funny.
That's cool. We're very proud to have created the Biscuit song. Yeah.
It's been used over about 260 times now. That is.
Well,
seriously, man. I looked back the other day and I was like, we've recorded how many episodes? And it's about 263 or
That's
something
impressive.
like that, I think.
That is very impressive, mate.
We've been busy. We've been very busy, Shane.
Yeah.
So first of all, I need to give you Hinton a shout out because Reduced to Clear Biscuits was a very the last one, episode 8 with Luke Allen and Alex Yousefi. So the guys that are listening that don't listen to Reduced to Clear Biscuits, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, you guys had a guest to come on, didn't you? But didn't turn up. And you guys just went with it. And it was actually really, really nice. It was really good.
It was interesting because it wasn't planned. So for something Al taught me was guest doesn't turn up, just press record and just go with it anyway and just see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to either work or it isn't. You know, you don't have to use the audio. So we just press record and went with it. And I wasn't prepared because the whole thing was just, you're just out of rhythm. Yeah. Something happens, it just completely knocks you. You just can't get your beat back again. It's just, I was completely off beat and I just didn't know what I was doing. And just went with it. It's just,
Well, you guys have both worked with me. Shane, you were on the Weekly Bazaar with me for a bit there, and Hinton, obviously,
indeed, yeah.
Biscuiteer. And you know what it's like especially when I get a bit like heated in the moment. I'm kind of like,
no,
where is this? Why didn't you turned up? And then sometimes like it's really weird. I've explained it a couple of times how me and my wife would be having a barmy. And I'd be like, oh, well, I hate my existence too. Oh, my God. And then I hit record and like, hey, guys, welcome to You Suck Podcast. Or welcome It's really weird, isn't it?
It's called professionalism, mate. It's professionalism.
I've literally seen the transition firsthand as well. Literally, like, live, I've seen the transition. He's been like, welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit Podcast.
It's brilliant. It's good that you can do that, mate, because you don't really want to come on going, welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit Podcast. People are going to be like, whoa, this show's got attitude.
It's happened to me a couple of times. I remember when we first did the Weekly Bazaar with Garrett, the first time round. This is for this was for Thorskin. First time I got that mix in. Now Shane Hinton will understand what I'm talking about. I just first bought the mixer and I thought, I'll just plug it in. Fine. And then we'll just go.
This is the mixer that I use now, by the way. This is the mixer's now in my house. It's right here, and it took me 3 hours to get it working.
Which I need to come and scoop off for you sometime. I need to get you an audio interface, which would be easier, because I need Andy McEwen, who I spoke to a couple of weeks ago. Actually, no, we're going to record this early. I don't know. I spoke to Andy McEwen, who's a very famous music and light artist in Shrewsbury, amazing guy. Was like, oh yeah, bring your kit round. We'll test the stuff out for the 24-hour. And I was like, okay, sounds great. So we're going to take the mixer and stuff, and we're going to set it up, and we're going to do like a mock setup.
This is the first I've heard of this, by the way, which means
I have been busy.
I'm going to have to dig it out now. Thanks, boss.
Andy does some great stuff, doesn't he? I love Andy. Does brilliant work.
He's amazing. He really is. Like, this is the first time I spoke to him on the show, but I've been aware of him for like a couple of years, and be like, it was so nice to finally sit down and speak to him. And you, Shane, you've started your own podcast as well, haven't you? It's been going well.
Indeed, yeah. I was actually, when you were talking, Shane, about when you just go and you just go with it when the guest doesn't turn up. We had one like that, but it was a live show, because we do live shows as well. And John Lehman, the comics writer, John Lehman. Well, it was my fault actually. I got the hours wrong because he's in America, and I just slightly miscalculated because of daytime saving. So we came on, and it's like he texted us and said, "Isn't it in an hour?" So we just went because it was live. So we spoke for an hour, and we were just about to go off. And Ollie, my co-host, said, "John's ready to come on now. Should we just do it?" So we did a 2-hour show.
You're like, oh god!
And the first hour of it was just us just talking rubbish, and then John came on and saved the day. But it actually ended up being a really good show. But like you say, you just go for it because you don't know. It could turn out really well, even on a live show. If it starts to turn into a disaster, you just go, right, guys, we're off now. Bye.
Yeah, I mean that tends to happen. I mean, I know with you, Suck. Isn't it? I can't remember which show it is now. What's the difference? I think I was just like, we're gonna have to shorten these times, man. Because Tom ends up running out of things to say, and he just starts getting daft.
We're getting better at it. We are definitely getting better. I was chatting to a radio DJ friend of mine in New Hampshire in America last night. I went on his show, and we were talking because I've started my radio show, Naughty Talk, and he was talking about like how have you found it and stuff, because he's been doing this for years. And I was like, I feel like the podcast side of things, especially the live shows, the Wednesday night lives where we just don't write a script and we just hit record and go. That improvisation skills, they are very important to sort of doing what we do, because sometimes you do run out of things to say, and the ability to just pick something out the air and be like, let's talk about the heating systems on a bus. Which
actually happened. That happened.
I've still got the
yeah, there it is. There you go. The picture on the screen of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Welcome to my life.
Well, I find sometimes what I'm doing on the live shows is I'll be talking, and then I'll be thinking while I'm talking, and I slow down what I say, and I try not to and ah, and just like drivel just comes out, and I just hope that nobody notices that it's complete drivel.
See, I'm at my best. I'm better at doing this sort of stuff when I've got Al, because Al. That was weird. I was pointing to Al.
Does that?
Al. Because me and Al bounce off each other really well, and I'm in my element. I'm like, it's like the Anton Deck thing, It's just sort of
which one's Ant, which one's Deck? That's what I want to know.
I'm the better looking one.
Well, you've got to be Ant because you're taller. And you're a little bit dimmer than me. So it's not wrong though. That's the thing. He's like,
it's not wrong no.
There was no fight there at all. You were just like,
Do you know what? Sometimes I'll be doing Naughty Talk, the radio show.
The radio show, not the general activity.
Naughty Talk. NOUGHTIE. But no, I'll be doing that, and I'll be like, I wish I had like someone like Shane or Tom Bruno here with me to do this. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like radio is better when you're just having a bit of a giggle with someone. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you bounce off
full radio X.
Yeah. Oh, don't play Lady Gaga. Don't do it. I'm sorry, mate. It's got to be done. Lady Gaga. Yeah. I have this. I've come up with like this new process, and I have 5 songs of Cheese now. I have to play 5 songs of Cheese. and it's all noughties like cheese, like
There's a lot of it then.
Oh yeah, Craig David, Britney Spears, Lady Gaga, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Although Lady Gaga, some of her songs ain't too bad.
I dig Lady Gaga. I think she's really talented. I do. I mean, she's in the arena of pop. There's no getting out. But there's nothing wrong with that. There's some great pop music about it. But I think she's a good singer. She's a good musician, and she knows how to perform. She's got it all. And she's unique. She's got her own voice. She doesn't. Okay, there's obviously a huge, massive Madonna influence there. And David Bowie, obviously, as well. But she has, created her own image, if you like, and she keeps changing it. I find her really interesting.
I wouldn't mind being a few quid behind her, but
Have you learned a new phrase, Shane? Have you learned a new phrase? Did you learn that from?
What?
We're trying to work out which Shane you're talking to right now.
Oh, sorry, I hinted. Sorry,
we're both looking blank. It's like, which one is he talking to? What's he talking about?
Yeah, I like Gaga. I mean, I feel like we need to get musicians that are a bit brave like that. A bit eccentric. Because Billie Eilish dyeing her hair green is just not going to do it for me. I'm sorry. We need someone a bit more out there. Sorry. Anyway, Shane. Mr. Chebsey, you are here for a reason.
I am. I always forgot about it then.
Yeah,
thought I was back. I was back in the old podcast. Just chewing the fat.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't even name your podcast. We talked about it. What's your podcast?
So my podcast is called the Ice Cast, which is unimaginatively named after the Ice comic convention that I run. So it's basically we had lockdown, and I thought, I can't not do convention, can't do nothing at all. So just thought, let's do a podcast. So I started doing an audio podcast, influenced, by what you guys do. Actually, you were an inspiration to me, and also the guys at Geek Syndicate as well have always inspired me. And then it was like, well, let's try some live shows as well. So we started doing live shows, the Icecast Live, and we got some people on promoting their books. But the Icecast is like looking back over an artist's career, and right from the start to present. It's like this is your life, but for comic artists and without the red book.
Do you do the bit where it's like, this is what you could have had?
Yeah. That's bullseye, mate. That's bullseye. You can't be a bit bully. Yeah.
It's really funny to turn around to Charlie Adlard and be like, this is your life. This is like, what you've done in the whole of your life. This is an amazing story, but this is what you could have done. Like,
I don't think they'd come back if I did that. You know what I mean? Like you could have done this, but you chose to be a comic artist. You loser.
I was talking about this with a lot of artists. Actually, it's one of my lead questions. Really, is kind of like the whole cliche. Oh, you're not going to art college. You're going to be a doctor. Kind of thing. Where with the parents when they I mean, it can't be easy to go up to your parents and be like, yeah, I'm going to be an artist. I'm not going to.
Oh yeah, their response is like, "Can't you be a drug dealer or something?" Something at least you can make some money then. Yeah, there's no respect at all for arts in a lot of quarters. My parents had struggled a little bit. When I said I wanted to be an artist, and I think my dad was really relieved when I came out of art college and got a job in a factory. Oh, he's great. He's going to be a normal person. I'm probably a great disappointment to him now, but I think that. The arts are so valuable. They change our lives, they influence us, they keep us going when we're low. I was thinking about it actually today, the value of the arts and, how they affect everything, whether it's music, a painting, or, you're inspired by a piece of dance or you great comics, which is what inspires me most of the time. It's so important in our lives and people just don't realize the value of it. And it breaks my heart sometimes.
And you find it in some crazy places as well. Not crazy as in... what I'm trying to talk about is last weekend I was at St. Mary's for the Historic Church Open.
Yes.
And they're trying to raise money to repair their stained glass windows, to clean everything, and to, £200,000 they need. So they had the guys from the Corbett household dressed in chainmail and stuff like this, and with swords and shields, and they also had some great exhibitors there as well. And one of them I spoke to was Natalie Hildegard Lee, who's she's got a stained glass studio by the English Bridge.
Oh, right.
And she
I know
she
where
makes
that is,
designs custom stained glass for people, and she's amazing. And I was looking as we were doing this interview, we were looking up at the stained glass, and of course, stained glass in churches is very intricate, very beautiful art. But when I was learning about how you read the stained glass, I was kind of like, is this the world's first comic book? I mean, they are panels. They're definitely
sequential,
panels.
aren't they? They tell a story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the idea of sequential storytelling, has been around since, you could argue, the Egyptians, and then you could also look at, Norman times, some of the tapestries, but cave paintings. How far do you want to go back? Telling stories through images, because comics don't have to have copy. They don't have to have words. They can be just images. Words came along later. I mean, the first comic book was in the 19th century in Britain. But comics themselves as an art form have been around since man.
It has a huge influence on people as well. And like the imagination behind some of them. I always wonder what was going through Stan Lee's head when he went, I want a guy that's like a spider. Well, he's got 8 legs. No. He's
LSD,
he's
probably.
In red and blue, and he shoots webs out of his hands. So.
I mean, it's just incredible imagination. I mean, what Stan Lee was great at, he was great at looking at the, what was around in culture at the time and putting it all together and coming out with something singular that represented so much was going on. He was so relevant at that time, in the early 60s.
I mean, Stan went through a lot of stick in the early stages, especially coming out of the military and going into what he was going into, and you got a lot of stick, I mean, who at that point, who would have thought that his creations would be the lifeline of a lot of people? You
can't predict that sort of thing, can you? I mean, back then comics were, it's a weird thing actually, because being a comic artist, it was like a job, like a back then. You went in, you did your drawings, you did your stuff, and you went. There was no celebrity. They weren't celebrities. Especially not in America, it was just it was a daily grind, and there was very little respect for the artists and the writers. But in some ways, there was a little bit more respect because it was seen as a normal job. It was, you weren't a weirdo for drawing comics so much. Whereas now it's like, yeah, you're a weirdo, but you're a little, you get that.
You're a cool weirdo.
Yeah, you're a cool weirdo.
Yeah, but who's got the last laugh now? Comic book creators, and I'm kind of ruling the world a bit now. Umbrella Academy, The Boys, all of these amazing things. There's Sweet Tooth that's been released on Netflix. All these things come from comic books, So you can look at DC and Marvel, and you can be like, okay, they're the big dogs, even as far out as Spawn a few years ago. These kind of things you kind of expect to be made into movies, but they're taking these really small IPs and turning them into these massive blockbuster productions. And you're thinking, these things, I mean, how much is Gerard Way worth now because of Umbrella Academy? He's got to be worth, a good few million.
He's probably doing all right, isn't he? Yeah. I mean, he made a bit for music before that as well, didn't he? So he's done all right. But... You're going to comment now about the music?
No, I was going to say everybody can recognise My Chemical Romance just from one note. Ding!
Yeah. One of the greatest intros. I mean, I'm not a fan of the band at all, but I think that is one of the greatest intros to any record ever. It's just iconic, And
I really like that he had a lot of influence on the TV show as well. Pretty much sat on set and made sure everything looked and looked great. I was very lucky to. The listeners are kind of like, oh, these guys just geeking about comic books. What's going on in Shrewsbury? But I went to MCM and with one of my podcasts, and I got to interview Tom Hopper, who was in Umbrella Academy, and they were great. Honestly, it was such an amazing show, guys. If you want something really out there and just wacky to go and watch, and you haven't seen it, go on Netflix and watch the Umbrella Academy. It
is really good. And if you really want to enjoy yourself, pick up the books because they're even better.
Right, so let's talk about that, because when we talk about comic books and we talk about these IPs that are turned into movies, do you feel like that inspires people to go and pick up a comic book?
It must inspire some. It's hard for me because it's hard to sort of imagine not going to the comics first, because the movies came a long time after, and the TV comes a long time after. So it's hard to put myself in the position of a person who's not familiar with the comics. but I try to, and I think that, you know, if it was me and I was watching a movie and I really liked it and I knew that there was source material, I would want to check out that source material. But not everybody wants to do that, and that's fine, you know. I mean, the reason that Marvel comics are not selling in massive numbers, you know, right now, is because the people who watch the movies are superhero fans. They're not comics fans, you know. There's nothing wrong with that, but the thing is, if you want to watch a superhero story, the best medium to watch it now is in a movie, unfortunately, because, you know, movies have overtaken comics in their ability to show all these amazing things, whereas in the 60s and the 70s and 80s and the 90s even, if you wanted to see that sort of spectacle in a superhero story, you had to go to comics. You didn't really have, there were a few movies about, but if you wanted it done the best way possible, the only way you could do it is to read a comic for superhero fans. Whereas now, if you're a superhero fan, you can go, you know what, I'm going to watch a Marvel movie because that's where it's at. And that's just the way it is, you know. But comics are so much more than superheroes. And that's part of what we're trying to show people with our project, the Comics Trail in Shrewsbury, that I'm talking about tonight.
Yeah.
That's a good segue.
It is a good segue. And do you know what, Hinton? It seems so long ago that we were at Comixolopia set up at the university. It does seem like forever ago. The day where I was like 10 feet away from the biggest exclusive on comic book history.
Yeah, I remember that. That was funny. And you know, I'd just been listening to those old interviews that you did, because I was sort of thinking, oh, I'll listen back to those, because it's sort of, we're at that time of year, and I got all nostalgic about it. I was listening to you talk to, I think you talked to Frank Whiteley and Declan Shalvey, and I heard you on that one, Shane, as well, I think. And you know, they were good interviews, guys. I really enjoyed listening back to those.
That's what we like to do, baby. That's what we like to do.
It's what
Apart
we do.
from Jamali Maddix, when I was kind of like, okay, so Jamali, what do you do then? And he goes, I'm on the telly.
Yeah. I'm on the telly, mate. I'm on the telly, mate.
I don't watch terrestrial TV. I mean, I'm watching the most terrestrial TV.
I'm doing a documentary, bruv.
He is a lovely guy, isn't he, Jamali?
Yeah,
isn't he just a lovely guy? Yeah.
Tried to get him back on the show. I tried to get him for USUC and stuff. He's not speaking to me. He's kind of like, it's the guy I didn't recognise my genius. So Comixolopia was a huge event for you. It's like the maiden voyage of the Comixolopia brand and what you're doing and stuff. Is the comic book trail attached to Comixolopia, or is it just a standalone thing?
It is attached to it. Yeah, because we couldn't do the festival this year because of COVID. The illness that everybody talks about. But we wanted to do something. We didn't want to just not do anything. So we talked to the town council, Shrewsbury Town Council, because in 2019 we wanted to do murals, but we didn't get the arts funding for it. So we didn't do it. There you go. But we thought, wouldn't it be cool to still do something like that? So we talked to the council, and Helen at the council said, well, what about if we did some installations of art, not on the walls, but we put some work up? And I had this idea of this story across the town. Somebody writes a story, it goes all across town. Each piece of art is a panel of the story, and it goes up at landmarks across the town. And I said, well, we could probably do it a lot cheaper that way. And I told her how much it would cost, and she said, I think we can make that happen if you can sort of match the funding. And so we went and we got an Arts Council grant to match. Well, actually, we got a bit more than what the council gave us. So we managed to get a really good, substantial bit of funding from the Arts Council and from local authorities, and from the Big Town Plan. They helped us out as well. Even the Shrewsbury Bid got involved. So we've had some really good support from the local authorities and the local organisations, and we're doing what we wanted to do originally this year. So what's going to happen is there's going to be images right across the town, massive life-size images, and depicting the story of Shrewsbury from the past to the present to the future. And it's written by none other than Judge Dredd creator John Wagner.
Oh, we should have got him on today. Imagine trying to get John on StreamYard. I love John. A shout out to John and a flashback as well. Actually,
I can't hear you, mate.
Okay, guys, we need to go back onto that. The first time I ever spoke to... No, it's not the first time I spoke to John. It was the second time because we did the slobber knocker at the...
yeah, I remember that.
That was ruined by the air conditioning.
Yeah, there's this little sound in the background all the way through that recording, wasn't there? Yeah. Such a good interview as well, mate. Such a good interview,
but probably one of the worst bits of audio I've ever released as a podcast in my history, which is so embarrassing because I was surrounded by just a few £1 million worth of artist designers, I was comic book designers and writers, and I was just like, yeah, there you go,
legends,
guys.
Absolute legends. Love
so the second time I ever spoke to John Wagner was at the Comicsalopia opener, and so there's this hustle bustle of a table of a room. There's a charity auction that's just finished, and Shane and Charlie and the Cosmic Rays are setting up in the corner ready to play music. And I thought, I'm going to go and say hello to John Wagner because I might be able to scoop an interview with him, Just go say hello.
Side note, it's worth just bearing in mind how socially awkward Al is when it comes to face-to-face stuff,
socially awkward.
Carry on.
If you've met me, you know. So I walked over to John. He sat down with his missus, and I sort of crouched down because, he's low down. So I come down on his level and I'm like, hey, John, do you remember me? And he went, no. And I was like, okay, so we did the interview a few weeks ago at the Hive. And he said, oh, yeah, I remember. I think he was just like being polite. And as I went to say to him, I'd like to get an interview with you, Shane and Charlie start raise. So all he hears is, but what I'm saying to him is, I'd love to get an interview with you over the weekend. Maybe we can sort it out. And he's like, I kind of hear you. I'm like, John, maybe we could get an interview. And he's like, I cannot hear you. And I was like, have a great evening, John. I'll see you later. And I just walked off. Terrible.
Oh, what a shame. Well, I do apologise, mate, for scuppering your chances there.
You knew what you were doing. You're like, damn the prep.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. That's why he let us use his music for the podcast. Is that guilt?
Yeah, total guilt. Yeah.
John is amazing, by the way. He invited me around his house last year, I think it was. No, it would kind of been last year. It was that was a while ago.
It would have been. Yeah.
It would have before COVID. And I went around his house, beautiful house, and made me drink. We sat in his kitchen. We did an amazing interview. It was fantastic. John Wagner is amazing.
He's a lovely guy. I love John.
So who's involved with these installations of art then around town?
Okay, so I guess this is an exclusive because we haven't announced it yet officially. This isn't going out now, is it? So I'm going to take a risk and give you an exclusive. It might not be an exclusive.
We'll get this out Wednesday. We'll get this out Wednesday.
Okay, it's probably an exclusive then. So it's pretty obvious we're going to have Charlie Adlard.
No, he's not allowed. I'm sorry.
No, it's banned.
Charlie has actually completed his piece of work, and I've seen it. And all I'll say is Charlie the Ape is back from Comicsalopia. And he's done an amazing piece that's going to be going up at Shrewsbury Library, which is the first part of the story, which introduces the characters of the story, which I'm not going to give away or anything. But Charlie the Ape, who is pictured there that Alex is showing now that nobody can see because it's an audio podcast. But
I was holding up when we were at Comicsalopia. We got all the people we interviewed to sign the beautiful edition of My Shrewsbury that Charlie Adlard designed with the ape on top of the market hall, and we were supposed to give it to Jane from Share, but it never happened. And
so Alex kept it. Yeah, baby.
I'm keeping it safe for her. So.
Keeping it safe.
Yeah,
for the last 2 years.
So Charlie the Ape is back.
Yes, he is. That's all I'm going to say. So it's a 9-part story, starting with Charlie Adlard. Some of the artists we've got involved. Okay, we've got Mike Perkins, who is currently doing amazing work with Ramvi on Swamp Thing. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's one of the most interesting things that DC are actually putting out at the moment, I think. So Mike is doing a piece for us. We've also got Doug Braithwaite doing a piece for us. I think he's doing something talking about the area of town, Bear Steps and St Altman's Church, that area there. Doug's doing a piece there, which I've seen the pencils for. He completed the pencils yesterday, and they are, as to be expected from Doug Braithwaite, absolutely brilliant. I can't wait. And he's going to paint it. He said he's going to paint that image. I think he meant hand paint as well. So I'm really excited about seeing that. Because if anyone's not familiar with Doug Braithwaite's art, he's worked on some of the biggest titles for Marvel, DC. He also did an image book with Dave Hine. And he helped to rejuvenate Valiant Comics a few years ago with his Exo Man of War. And it's just one of the greatest artists in the business. So we're absolutely thrilled to have him involved.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And we've also got some more left field guys as well. Rachel Smith, who's an artist who's known. She recently actually was on TV in America for a book that she's just released. She does amazing work. Some of it's autobiographical, and some of it's more sort of slice of life sort of stuff. And it's really interesting. She's an incredibly good writer as well as artist. She's one of those people who can do the whole thing, write, draw, self-publish. She's an absolutely incredible creator on every level. So we're thrilled to have Rachel involved. It's just, I can't really express enough how happy I am with the team of artists, and of course John.
Well, you just
writing it.
I mean,
it's just yeah. Well, there you go. Just did it.
That's it's amazing that you can pull in artists like that I mean, how many of these are local? I mean,
well, we're lucky actually because Mike Perkins has just moved back to Shrewsbury from America. Which is why I asked him, because I obviously wanted a local artist involved. Charlie obviously lives locally. John is local. Some of the other guys are not local as such, but they've got links to Shrewsbury. Also, there's some guys who are quite nearby. Lou Stringer, the Beano legend, is doing a piece for us. I think his piece is going to be at the Quarry. I'm giving a lot away here. You're getting a lot here, mate. You really are. I'm going to have to stop
it first on the biscuit.
Yeah.
Biscuit before BBC.
Are you going on BBC Shropshire with this?
We've been on BBC.
Oh, right. That's it. Kill it. See you later. We're off. I'm going.
No, yeah.
But we didn't tell him much. So, yeah, he's gone off. So yeah, we didn't tell him much because we couldn't at the time. It was all teaser stuff mostly. I spoke to Michaela, Michaela on Radio Shropshire, who got in touch and said she wanted to chat about what we were doing. And so people do know it's happening, but we're sort of letting people know in drips and drabs. We want to keep people sort of teased a little bit.
Just if you guys are listening and you've got an event to talk about, you would get absolute brownie points if you come to the biscuit before the BBC. It's part of the way we do things. That's what we say: biscuit before BBC. But we'll let you off this time, Shane, because we absolutely love you.
Thank you.
So, what's the idea behind this, and why set something like this up around Shrewsbury? And obviously, it's beautiful art, and Shrewsbury deserves that. But what do you hope to get from this?
Okay, well, there's lots of reasons why we're doing it, actually. First of all, as I also already said, we want to keep the Comic Salopia identity in people's minds, We're not going away. Just because there's been a pandemic, it doesn't mean that we're not going to come back. So that's one reason for doing it. Probably the biggest, there's two really big reasons as well. Is first of all, we want people to come into Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury's open for business again. We want people in the town. We want something there for them. To enjoy, and they can get involved because it's not just artwork that you can look at. You can actually create your own stories. So the idea is, because it's mostly at eye level and it's life size, you can take selfies in front of the art and create your own 9-panel story featuring yourself, your friends, your family.
Cool.
So there's lots of original stories being created online. Then you can post it on Instagram. We're going to have a competition with some very cool prizes that I can't announce just yet. But for the best stories created by people doing the trail. So you can come to Shrewsbury, you can do the trail, you can take your selfies, and then you post them online, and you can win a prize or two. So you can really get involved, and it'll be really interesting to see what people come up with, because the sky's the limit. If you whatever ideas there's lots of different ways that you can integrate yourself into the panels.
Especially
so
with
that's going to be really interesting.
all the filters and stuff you've got on.
Exactly. You can have some real fun. And if you want to dress up, there's loads of things you can do. So the artwork is there. It's public domain. It's in the public domain. All of the places are free entry, good, easy access. So it's accessible to everybody. That was a really important thing for us, that anybody can come and enjoy this artwork and get involved with it and integrate themselves into it, and engage with it. That's really important.
Really
and engage with Shrewsbury. Sorry, mate, go on.
No, I think you're right. Absolutely right. I mean, I wasn't debating with you. I'm saying Shrewsbury does deserve that, and people engaging with that we've always spoken about this, me and you, Shane. It might spark a bit of creativity in someone.
That's it.
Especially kids out there that are like, oh, I'd like to do this.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say if there's any schools listening, any art teachers or anything, I am available to come out and do a little free talk about creating their own comics. It's something I think I'm going to Meal Brace School next month to do a little talk about how to make your own comics, and just about comics in general, because a lot of kids are curious about comics and how they work, and how they can create their own. And it's not difficult. You just do it. You don't have to have certain pens or certain paper or have a publisher. You can just create comics just for the love of it.
I use a classic quill.
Yeah, if you want to. Hey, you can get good lines off a quill. I'll tell you now.
Have you spoke to Kerry from Bloom?
I haven't. No, I don't think so. I might have. I spoke to a lot of people over the last few months, actually. And not all of them
there's
stuck
Bloom
in my brain.
in Colham, Bloom, and Kerry runs that, and it's all about art, of course, but youngsters. Getting youngsters involved. I think that'd be perfect.
She the one that does she does painting with music or something, doesn't she?
I haven't. We did. It's really sad, actually. We did an interview at Bloom Studios with Kerry, with the amazing Tim King before he passed on. Unfortunately, it was like literally a few months after we did that interview, he passed on. I was so shocked, and I haven't spoken to Kerry since, because she had the flood. So studio was flooded, and then COVID, and then the floods happened again, and I didn't want to be like, want to come on my podcast after she's been through all that. So Kerry, if you're listening, you want to do something, get in touch. But I would very much love to come over. I'd love to get set up a studio or something, set up the mics while the kids are there doing it, because it's all about kids and getting them involved, and to find out what's going through their little minds, because these kind of places are really important, just to give people a bit of a bit of a drive into getting involved with art, because like you were saying at the beginning of the podcast, Shane, I feel like art is so important. It really is. It's the only thing. Music, and art, and photography is it's a visual, an audio, whatever representation of emotion, and it's very important for us to be
definitely.
By that.
And it's so good. It's a really good for well-being. I mean, there's a reason that you feel, when you're creating art and you feel euphoric and you feel really good and you're in that moment. I mean, there's some science to prove this, but I believe it anyway. And that is that when you're in that moment and you're doing what you should be doing as an artist or a creator, and everybody is an artist and is creative, we've all got it inside us to a certain extent. And when you're in that moment and you're doing what you should be doing and you're doing it really well, you have a sense of meaning in your life, And it's a very profound thing, and it's very good for you, both physically and mentally. And if people can get in touch with that moment when you're at one with what you should be doing creatively, that is so good for you. And the more you do it, the better your health will become, the better your sense of meaning and purpose will become. And people need that, especially at the moment with what's been happening. Art can really turn people's lives around, whether you're creating it or whether you're participating or whether you're just enjoying the fruits of it, So it's incredibly important.
Yeah, It is, and I bet there's no other feeling than selling your first piece of art. First time you've sold a piece of art or you've made money off something you've created.
I'm still waiting for that one, mate.
I don't believe that.
I lie. I'm lying. Of course. Yeah.
You're very talented. I've seen some of your work, Shane. Very good. Very good.
Oh, thank you.
It's very kind.
Not you, Hinton.
I'm sure you are, Shane. I'm sure you are too.
Get out the clouds, buddy. Get out the clouds. So when is all this happening, Shane?
Okay, so the art is going to be unveiled on Saturday, the 24th of July. So it's not long, and we hope that it's going to be up for 1 year. So people will have chance to participate and do their selfies and get involved for the whole season, for the whole year if they want to. They can go and discover Shrewsbury. They can get into the story, and there's going to be some leaflets which give us more information. You can also go online, and there'll be extra information online about the art and about the artists, and you can find out more about the background of the sites, because there's a lot of, everybody knows there's a lot of history in Shrewsbury. And part of what this story is about the history of Shrewsbury, as well as what's going on now and what we can expect in the future. There's a lot of history there. So there's further reading, if you like, that you can get into, not as well as the trail, So that'll be going on. It's basically there for everybody all year. For people to enjoy.
Where does the trail start? Which landmark are you using to start with?
So it starts at the library with Charlie's Piece. That is part one of the story. And we are going to be doing a launch event where there's going to be some kids' workshops at the library. We've got Sonia Leong coming up. She's coming up. And she's going to be doing some manga workshops, which are incredibly popular because kids at the moment are really into manga. And manga in general is experiencing a little bit of a growth spurt at the moment, not just with kids, just across the board. I think people are discovering that manga isn't just one house style. People think manga, they think big eyes, and all that sort of stuff.
Hello Kitty.
They think of one or two things, We're all aware of Akira, we're all aware of Hello Kitty, Naruto, all that sort of stuff. But manga is as diverse as any other type of comics. Manga is just comics. One Punch Man. But there's every single genre you can imagine is represented in manga, as it is in comics, in Western comics, and there is this sort of barrier between manga and Western comics, and people try and separate them, but it's all part of the same pot, really. And people are discovering that now, I think.
I've always thought that the one thing that DC have always done better than anyone else is their animated movies. I think their animated movies they're just
totally agree, mate.
Stunning.
Yeah.
And there was a while there they did about 3 or 4 in the run where it was all manga style, Batman, and I was kind of like, really long pointy
I remember those.
ears, very skinny, very pale skinned, and I was just kind of like, do I like this or do I not? And I kind of grew into it, and then they've gone back to the old traditional sort of.
Well, it was a good experiment, wasn't it? I mean, that's the thing I love about the DC animation. They're not afraid to have a little bit of an experiment with different styles every now and again.
Ninja Batman.
Yeah, that was wacky. Yeah. I mean, the concept. I mean, it was a bit contrived. It's like, how can we get all these characters into feudal Japan? I think it was set, and it's like, well, this none of this makes any sense at all, but it was good. And it was a one-off, as an experiment, but fair play to them. They have a go, and I think that's for me, for the DC properties, the most interesting stuff is the animated movies, without a doubt. More than the live action stuff, more than the comics.
What I find really funny, right, is that you got like DC that's like trialed this animated series, and there's Shane Chebsey. It's going like, well done, you. You've had a go. Well done. You want to ruffle his hair a bit, just like on the back.
I'm sure they are really appreciative. Yeah, I'm sure they're hanging on my every word. Yeah. I'm sure they're really, really pleased. Yeah.
So, you turned up. Well done. You turned up, and you give it a jolly good go, didn't you? Well done, you.
Thank you for pointing that out, Shane. Thank you.
We're running short on time. I'll go and have my dinner. I've got to do another live show in a bit as well at 9 o'clock. I wasn't supposed to, but Mr. Tom Bruno's been on vacation in South Carolina. It looked like a great time, but he's like, I'm not back yet from his 18-hour drive. So that's fair. So I need to go and jump on the show tonight now.
Wow.
America, man. It's a crazy place.
Yeah,
Like, I'll just pop into the shop in 3 hours. It's crazy. Shane, where can people find everything they need to find out about this comic book show?
Right, okay. So obviously there's the Comic Salopia website, which is comicsalopia.com. Nice and easy, 2 S's. Mm-hmm. That's being developed again at the moment for the trail, so that should be all up and running in a few days. And we have created a Facebook group, Shrewsbury Comics Trail, which is sort of where you can find out things as they happen. So I would recommend for anyone who's interested in finding out what's going on is go on to Facebook, go on to the Shrewsbury Comics Trail Facebook group, and you are really in touch with what's happening there. We're also on Twitter as C Salopia, and we'll be posting on there as well. So there's lots of places, and as things develop, as the artwork gets shared, there will be an Instagram hashtag, which will be Comics Trail. Comics Trail 2021. So hashtag Comics Trail 2021, and that's where you can post your entries as well. So keep an eye on that hashtag on Instagram.
Amazing. I can't wait for this. I mean, I'm glad it's going to be up for a bit. We're not going to miss it, because I think maybe we could do like Shane. We could have you as the judge, and we could have like a biscuit off. Who can make the best story?
Oh yeah,
get you back.
Definitely.
Yeah, I reckon we should do a biscuit live, actually following it around. That'd be quite cool.
I was suggesting we could do something like that on the launch weekend. Actually, it would be great to get you guys to interview some of the people who were doing the workshops, interview the artists who were visiting.
That was me stretching, by the way. That wasn't me going, oh no, that's terrible.
I was looking at your face thinking, like, what's he trying to tell me? It's like, is he like? I don't understand.
Yeah, I'd love to be there, but we do. I mean, I'm very excited to be there, but we're going to be doing the Battle of Shrewsbury with the Corbett household, so we're going to be there. Hopefully, I'm going to speak to him, and we're going to try and get Matthew on the show at some point, and I want to try and see if they have a few spare bits of chat. I don't know. Maybe we can do some old timey sort of recording into this magic stick that will record your voice and I don't know, etch it in the sky. So this all sounds amazing. So guys, make sure you definitely check that out, and go and get some pictures. Send them to where can people send their stuff? Is that
so if they use the hashtag, and then we'll judge it from that. We'll send out more information about the competition over the next couple of weeks as well, because obviously it'll open as the artwork is unveiled. And then it really kicks into gear, and it's going to be up there for a while, so people can enjoy it. But the competition will have a closing date, which will probably be towards the end of the summer, because obviously people don't want to walk around the trail when it's snowing, do they?
Oh, they might. I love the freezing cold rain that hits you in the face.
These are Salopians. These are Shrewsbury people. Like, snow is like summer to us. Like,
Indeed, I forget. I'm forgetting myself, aren't I?
Remember where you are, man.
Yeah. Should know better.
It sounds fantastic, Shane, and it is great to speak to you again.
And you guys, really nice to see you.
I need to tell the listeners about, obviously you guys, if you listen to the show regularly, you'll know that we're going to be doing this 24-hour podcast challenge that we're doing at 9 a.m. on the 29th of September. We're going to go live, and we're not going to stop until 9 a.m. on the 30th, which is International Podcast Day. We're doing this in conjunction with both the Biscuit and You Suck to try and raise money for local Shrewsbury charity Lingen Davis, and the reason we're doing this is to try and encourage people to go out and do the same. Do better than us, please. I don't need that slide, Shane, because it's wrong now, because I've put on there that we're selling our sponsors. We were selling them for £50 for an hour, just obviously a donation to the charity. So you'll get, like, this hour is brought to you by Shane Chebsey. He's a great artist. He'll draw you a great figure. These sort of things. We'll do that for you, and we'll display your logos. But I went for a meeting at Reach, who are our main sponsors, and they're like, yeah, that's too cheap. It's like £50 for a company. He's like, That's your stationery bill. Like, so £100 if you want to be involved, and that money all goes straight to Lincoln Davis. Now, if we sell 24-hour-long slots at £100, look at the money we're going to be making for a charity. That's what you will be part of. And yeah, we've got a great lineup. The biscuit lineup is very nearly filled up. You suck. We've got some work to do. So maybe Shane, if you know some, I mean, Charlie's said yes. He will love to come on and speak to us.
Oh, great.
So if you know anybody that can help us fill up our guest list, just drop us a message after this, because we're looking for great people. This thing has got a brand now. It's got a name that I can't tell you yet because it hasn't been lifted. There's going to be press releases going out and stuff. But this is a brand and a name that I'm not. It could probably change the world. It could really cause a ripple effect with what we're doing. So hopefully, just stay tuned at what's going on, because you're going to be very shocked and very pleasantly surprised, I think. If you want to get involved and you want to speak to us, please go to our website, which is the shrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk. There are options there to get in touch with us. You can listen to the shows, and you can just get involved. And that's made for us by our friends at Web Orchard, who make great websites. So if you need a website, go to Web Orchard. So yeah, Shane, you got anything to add? Hinton, sorry, before we go?
No, I need to get an up-to-date slide, because these are the ones which I've been pushing on all the reducer clears.
Yeah. That's my fault for leaving them up there. In fact, I just deleted it. There we go. It's gone. Disappeared. Gone. I can't do.
I'm not angry. By the way, I haven't even been told what the hell the brand and everything. We're gonna have a chat. Me and you, young man, are gonna have a chat.
I recorded the interview that we had, and I invited you to the meeting as well. But I recorded it on Zoom, and it deleted itself. I genuinely we planned it all. Jamie Westwood, he cleared the cloud because it was full, so we had space. We recorded it, and I was meant to send it to Anna from Lincoln Davis as well, and it deleted itself. I went to look at it last night, and it was like this stream does not exist, and I was like, thank you, Zoom, cheers for that. We really needed that audio so we could send it to you guys, but so there it goes. Right, guys, you've been fantastic. Shane, you again. I do miss the bizarre days.
Me too.
I don't do that. I killed that show. I'm not doing it anymore.
Is it gone now?
I think TS is going to take it up because I've got too much to do. I've got all this biscuity stuff I'm doing, the You Suck stuff I'm doing on the radio, and I've got a family and a full-time job.
Yeah. I feel you, mate. I do. I'm the same. We just like to keep busy, don't we?
I think we like to punish ourselves. I think that's what
you're saying. Yeah. But it's been a pleasure to come on. It really has. It's been really nice to see you guys. Thank you so much.
We welcome anytime, mate. Anytime at all.
Thank you. Right. Let's get out of here. This has been a great show, and we will catch you next time, guys. Where's the video? And peace out.